Okay, welcome to Stampscaping 101. I'm going to do a little experiment here with some brown tones. I'm using distress inks here to get just a general background going. This is a clay surface, and the ink is really absorbing into the surface because that's the nature of clay. So, if I had re-inkers for this, that would be a good place to start, but this is the Distress Ink Antique Linen. Really nice color range, kind of reminds me of, I think it's Maple Inks. And just getting a general background here. Doesn't have to be real definitive because I have other plans, you know, kind of later on in this scene or piece. And I wasn't going to do this tonight, but I had this kind of idea in my head that I wanted to experiment with, and that's just the way it goes sometimes. Sometimes you just have to stamp. Okay, this is a brown. That last ink was tea dye. I mean, I don't have this really conceived, you know, with specific colors in mind. I'm just going for a range of brown tones. These ones were the ones that I happen to have, so I'm using them. But just like with all color schemes, just, you know, I mean, if you have the colors, you know, by all means, if you want to kind of stamp out, you know, go for something similar, you can, but, you know, if you don't, just make do with what you have and see how it comes out. You know, the biggest thing is I always try to go for a strong value range in my work, as I feel that's a really good foundation for whatever we're working on. Potentially it can become a much more rich scene or piece of artwork if you have that value range in there. Not everything would be like that, but you know, as far as the composition goes, it just, I find it's a lot easier having the range in there. Okay. This is black. So I've used brown and dark brown from the Marvy range. And on the scene, I'm going to stamp out some of my birch trees. This one's the smaller version. This is black ink. I guess what I'm kind of going for here is a kind of a sepia, or sepia, I'm not sure how you pronounce it, kind of scene. And I'm just going for the top portion, or the bottom portion, top portion being left out. Now the birch trees have a, you know, that light colored bark, so that's going to be really fun to work in there with my scratch tool. Someone asked me how I cut out that middle part right there on rubber. I just turned it like that and took a scissor and took a, you know, snip out of it that way. Be careful not to cut into the rubber though, of course. But you just kind of get it started that way. You know, that hole's not a real, you know, smooth one, but I don't know, I just thought, you know, if I only have to cut it out one time, I'll be nice and careful with it and take the time to cut that out, but probably didn't need to, but do it anyway. Let's see. This is the Sedge filler for some extra texture down below. The curved more spoon-like scratch knife, and alright, I need to make a little notation here with this so I don't start scratching down here where you can't see. Alright, which direction do we want the light to be coming from? Well, I don't know, I can have it, maybe I'll try it front lit here, okay? The birch tree has kind of that bark. That kind of moves in a horizontal format, so I'm not really going to scratch this way. I'm going to kind of go along with the spirit of the bark here. And just taking light scrapes into this. And you might say, well, I don't know which way the bark goes. Well, just take a look at the design, and you can see where kind of drawn, you know, those little lines, those little contour lines going in there, about like that. You see where I'm starting to scratch right in here in this one? See, the scratch is always kind of touching and then scratching, touching, scratching, kind of pulling back towards you like that. You see that tree is starting to kind of reveal itself. Maybe I'll make the other tree recede a little bit into the distance by not revealing too much of the white. As you can see how that's kind of coming along there. Okay, kind of coming along. Okay, switching to the sharper tip. Getting a much more precise line and scratch. And maybe some of the sides are being illuminated a little bit more, coming out from the background. You kind of see those finer cuts. Then you have this area down here in the grass. Always kind of working in the pulling motion. I'll make a card for this, I think, in a future video. I'll mat it and I'll spray it off for you, and you can see how you can really finish off a card with a really nice embellishment with one of these. And I think I'll spray it with a clear coat as well. Okay. And almost there, almost done. Okay, there you have it. Could use a little bit more something in there, but for the most part, that's my main composition right there. And I'll think of some little accents here, and I'll